Wonderful. Well, welcome everyone to our session for international students studying in Canada for the University of Alberta. My name is Natalie, and I'm the recruitment coordinator for international students studying in Canada. So I am your contact person for any questions you may have in your high school to post-secondary journey. So before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory here in Edmonton, in the land of the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, and Anishinaabe nations, and just so proud to be part of this wonderful land that we call Canada and this wonderful land that the University of Alberta is situated on, known as Edmonton. So before we get started, I want to show you a quick little tidbit, a little teaser as to why you should choose the U of A. So we're actually a top five institution in Canada, top 100 in the world. Very excited about that as well because we have recently increased in ranking. So we're top four in Canada and in the top 100 in the world as well. So very excited for that. And that's because many different reasons. So we have so many professors who have won the most 3M teaching awards in all of Canada. Also, some really great research opportunities that are happening right at the U of A, where again, a lot of students and a lot of professors are really leading the way in research and innovation and pushing the boundaries of discovery each and every single day. So we're very excited to be one of the top institutions in Canada that is known as the U of A. So really excited about that. As you saw in the video, we have three campuses, and each campus is very unique in what it offers our international students. So we're going to talk about all three of them kind of in their own pocket. So we'll start with North Campus, which is visualized here. North Campus is the largest of our three campuses. So as you can see, it's very large. It's located right in the middle of Edmonton, which means that it's very easy to transit through. There's a train line that cuts right through. There's also a bus loop, but you can see over 150 buildings, over 50 city blocks. This is where most of the magic happens for the University of Alberta with over 200 programs and very large class sizes. So I like to joke around that if you can sit in a movie theater, you can sit in a lecture hall. So your first year of engineering or biology, you're going to be sitting in a room with over 400 people. And then as you progress through your degree, you get smaller and smaller class sizes throughout. So very different experience. Again, very multicultural as well. We do have over 8,000 international students that call North Campus home. So very diverse campus with loads of clubs, which we'll talk about later as well. Our second campus is called Campus Saint-Jean, and it is done entirely in French. So if any of you parlez français, definitely recommend looking into Campus Saint-Jean because not only does it have smaller class sizes, only 640 students call the faculty home, but also every single program is done entirely in French. So all you need is a French 30 in order to apply. You don't even have to be super fluent. We'll actually place you at the level of French that you're going to be successful in. So that's something very exciting about that. But also, something very exciting for our international students this year is that if you are an international student who applies to a fully French program at Campus Saint Jean, there's an automatic discount on your tuition right away. So that's also very exciting, one thing that we're offering there. But also, if you wanted to do a program like half of your studies at Campus Saint Jean and the other half at North Campus, there is an opportunity to do that using our bilingual programming. So, for example, as you can see here, bilingual nursing, bilingual business, bilingual education, those kinds and engineering, those kinds of programs you could do half of your program at North Campus and the other half at Campus Saint John, which is a very fun experience. And finally, our last campus is called Augustana, and this is located about 45 minutes outside of Edmonton in a town called Camrose, Alberta, of about 20,000 people. And what makes this campus very unique is the fact that most of the students live on campus. So it's a very different experience. For international students this year, also, if you're admitted to Augustana, boom, an automatic scholarship for attending Augustana. So that's also very exciting that we're offering that. But again, as you can see here, much smaller class sizes with a population of only 900 students. You get a little bit more one-on-one with your professors. And there's some very interesting programming that Augustana offers that is not offered anywhere else. So, for example, here you can see Law, Crime, and Justice, which is a program that is so interdisciplinary that has many different kinds of facets from law, criminology, ethics, political science, all those fields come together in our Law, Crime, and Justice program there. So very cool and diverse as well on campus. Augustana, if you've seen our handbook, which I just linked below, these flags are actually in the hall of Augustana. So again, very diverse campus, and all the countries you see on that handbook are represented by our student body there. So an amazing opportunity for international students there as well. So regardless of which campus you choose, all three of our campuses are very well known for offering hands-on learning. So we want to make sure that you're practicing what you're learning, that you're actually like taking advantage of the skills and learning the skills you'll need in the future. So not only do we have the second largest co-op in all of Canada for engineering students, but we also have placements, practicums, internships, clinicals, lots of opportunities for you to get very hands-on. So we want you to be able to practice what you are doing. We want you to be able to say you're passionate about what you're doing. So that by the end of your 4 years, you know that that is something that you've invested time in, but you also know that's something that you're going to enjoy doing for the rest of your life. So, very proud to say that we have a lot of work integrated learning. We are very well known for our work integrated learning in all of our programs, not just engineering or business, but all of our programs. We also have opportunities for students to start research in their first year. So let's say you have a project that you have in mind. Why not get started in your first year? Apply for these opportunities because not only do you get like research experience very early on as soon as you get here, but you also get to build that resume to you get a little bit more one-on-one with professors and pairing with mentors and also funding as well. So if this is something that you're interested in, please research and look into it because it is a fantastic opportunity. And especially if you're thinking of like later graduate studies or PhD studies or like even more research opportunities later in your field. Like this is a great opportunity to build that resume and those networks early on. The other thing that I really love talking about as well is that we have a lot of spaces on campus. I'm only going to show you a couple of them, but for example, like our nursing simulation center, so you can learn new skills and actually practice your degree in different ways, but also collaborate with different fields and also, yeah, like get your hands again a little bit more hands-on learning in that respect too. So, for example, the Student Innovation Center, I love talking about this one because we had students from about like 10 different faculties come together and create a satellite that's like the size of a loaf of bread that is currently one of the only Canadian satellites in orbit right now, which is very cool. And students did that, not just professors. Students got together from those 10 different faculties to create this. And the project that it's working on is mind-blowing as well. It's trying to see if it can prevent, monitor, and predict wildfire, which is absolutely amazing, especially being from prairie provinces like here in Alberta. Another one example of those maker spaces that I was talking about is our Elko Engineering Garage. So I love talking about this one because, like, again, any student can go into this room and learn new skills, such as like working a 3D printer, a laser, a CNC machine, woodworking, electrical, tons of different kinds of activities. I particularly like talking about this one as well because I last year made my Christmas presents there and won a $50 gift card. So highly recommend looking into those spaces and places to learn new things, and have fun while you're doing it. And here's just a couple more examples, as I mentioned, of some of our maker spaces throughout campus, where again, get out there, learn new skills, and collaborate with other faculties and individuals, and hopefully you'll make some friends while you're in the process. Another thing that we offer is a study abroad program. So again, we have over 250 programs that have a study abroad and over 49 countries that we're partnered with. So if this is something you're interested in, please research because again, there are tons of opportunities, including for international students as well. So if this is something that interests you, please, please, please apply and please look into it. Again, this is a great opportunity for you to go to different countries and experience and explore your degrees in many different ways. And one of the reasons that I talk about all of these kinds of ways to build your skills is because one of the questions we always tend to get is, will I get a job after graduation? And I am so proud to say that we are in the top 5 for employability after graduation in Canada and also in the top, one of the top institutions in the world, top 100 in the world for employability after graduation. So yes, you will be able to get a job after graduation because you've built those skills. You are passionate about what you're learning and you have built a lot of different ways of being hands-on in your degree. You've had those networks, lots of really great benefits to doing a degree at the U of A. We also this year did something different where we asked our students as to what they needed, like what can we do better? And there was a big response on mental health. So this year we actually doubled our number of counselors to assist with mental health issues, but also we support our students in many different ways, whether it's academically or personally or even physically. So, for example, we have puppy therapy, light therapy. We also have sometimes rabbit therapy come in. We also have a really great 211 line. So if you are struggling with mental health, you could call in. We also have a health clinic on campus, dentistries, doctors, pharmacies on campus. We also support our students academically as well. So, say for example, you need like there's a center for writers to help with your papers. There's also a math tutorial center with to help with your math as well. But more than that, we also have accessibility, and we have many different ways that we support our students because ultimately we are number in the top 5 in Canada because of you. So if we support you, hopefully you support us in return as well. We also support our students as well through our residents. So we actually have the largest first year dorm in all of Canada. So if you're interested in residents, the deadline to apply, well, not deadline, but the guaranteed, if you're guaranteed a spot if you apply before April 30th. So again, highly recommend looking into all of our residents options. Lister is one of the largest first year dorms in all of Canada. And fun fact, back in my year, we were the Guinness World Record holders of largest dodgeball. So it's a really fun fact for you as well. But again, tons of supports in place in residence, whether it's through your residence assistance, but also through our meal plan. So you're guaranteed by April 30th if you apply. But if you obviously are part of the meal plan, you don't have to worry about the shopping, the cooking, the cleaning. You just focus on the eating and the studying, which is absolutely fantastic. We also, as I mentioned, have over 450 clubs on campus. So join these clubs. This is where you're going to make all of your friends. This is also where you're going to potentially build more networks and also have fun while you're at it. Because yes, university is a lot of work, but it's also meant to be fun. So whether it's clubs for academia, whether it's clubs for like fitness or like sports related clubs or even cultural clubs, like there's tons of different clubs on campus. So feel free to visit our Bears Den to see some of the clubs that are listed. And if the club doesn't exist, don't be afraid to create it because I'm sure that there's a community out there waiting for someone on campus to create the club that you're dreaming of. So again, really highly recommend joining the clubs. This is going to be a great experience for you nonetheless, because yes, it's supposed to be fun. And university is a lot of fun. Let's go. All right, so now we're going to get to a little bit more nitty gritty as to the application process. So I did see we have a lot of grade 11s in the room, which is amazing because this will be pertinent to you next year. But my grade 12s, this is pertinent to you right now. So the application opened October 1st. It closes March 1st. I do highly recommend applying early as international students because you may miss some deadlines that you might be interested in, which we'll talk about in a second. But here's a nice little key dates if you want to screenshot this. You can see some of the dates that are coming up and some of the events that are coming up as well. Again, in your application, if you do apply, you do have to do a couple of things before you can apply. So first and foremost, you can choose the campus that you want to study at. As I mentioned, there's 3 campuses. You can mix and match in your application. So each, again, campus is unique in what it offers. So based on your program, you can also choose your campus or vice versa and choose your campus and then choose your programs. So again, step 1 is to choose your campus. Step 2, choose your programs. As you can see here, we have a lot of different kind of websites that we recommend. First and foremost is our admission averages website. So if you want to see the historical averages for the last 3 years, log on to uab.ca/averages to see the historic averages to where approximately you should sit for admission to your program. We also have advising sessions as well. So if you do want to chat with an advisor, there's the link uab.ca/advising, and we will put this video on our on-demand website afterwards. So if you are interested to see or to view this webinar again, please do. So as I mentioned, we have over 200 programs to choose from. Here are just some examples. So for example, business, we're top 6 in the country, top 9 in the world. We also have, for example, some marketing, history. We also have dietetics, computer engineering. We also have a lot of engineering. We're known in Canada for our engineering program and also for our co-op program with our engineering. But again, one of the top engineering programs in Canada. We also have, again, like you can see a couple of other things like nursing. We are top in Western Canada for our faculty of nursing, which is very exciting. But we are also in the top 9 for kinesiology. We also have a lot of different kinds of professional programs later on as well. So whether you're interested in and later on doing medicine or like dentistry or pharmacy, we do have all of those schools as well. I will also disclaimer that there are two faculties and programs that international students cannot attend. Just based on citizenship requirements, and that is the Faculty of Medicine and Radiation Therapy. So if you are interested in later going on to med school, you will need your Canadian citizenship or permanent residency in order to apply. So you do still have some time to get those before you even apply for those faculties, but again, keeping that in mind so you know ahead of time. Now, regardless of which programs you choose, the general requirements are all listed on our website on uab.ca/programs, but we are looking at a grade 12 academic English and then 4 courses for admission. So we're looking at just 5 core courses for admission. That's it. And we're looking specifically at grades. So I did put a little screen grab here of our programs web tool. So if you go to uab.ca/programs, use our search tool, search out a particular program that you're interested in, and it'll show you, just like you can see on the screen here, view requirements for Canadian high school, and then you can choose by province to see exactly which courses we accept in your province for the program that you are choosing. You can also see here that there will be other requirements as well. So for example, if you need a Casper test or you need a portfolio, that'll be listed in the admission requirements. There's also a cost calculator, which we'll talk about later to see approximately how much your degree may cost, and also your English language proficiency requirements, which we'll also touch on later as well. Also, you can see here another example of some of the hyperlinks of additional courses that we take. So we do take lots of different types of courses for different programs. So go onto the search tool and see what you'll need in order to apply for your chosen programs. Now, I do again recommend applying early. Our application opens October 1st, it closes March 1st. In your application, you are actually allowed to choose 2 programs. So be strategic in how you are choosing your programs. Choose your priority 1 program as the one you really want to get into or the one that's more competitive, and then your kind of bonus choice as your priority 2 program. So again, apply early because it gives us more time with your application to see if you're eligible for admission, but it also gives you more time to do a couple of extra tasks that you may need to do. So first and foremost, after you've applied, you will get a campus computing ID, your CCID, in 3 to 5 business days. Once you get that, you can apply for residence before April 30th to be guaranteed a spot. You can also book free advising with our international student and visitor services. So any study permit questions, you could do that. But more importantly, once you get that CCID, you can apply for scholarships. As you can see here, that deadline is coming up. So I do highly encourage you all to, if you haven't applied yet, apply early and then also apply for scholarships right away as well. For our grade 11s, you don't need to do this just yet. Obviously, you will do this in your grade 12 year, so October 1st of your grade 12 year. In terms of how to apply, it's going to be very, very imperative to list all of your academic history. So in your application, if you did some of grade 11 outside of Canada and some of grade or 11 or 12 outside of Canada, it will be very important to list this in your application. So there is a section that is called your academic history section in your application. And as you can see here, there is a checklist of places where you can list exactly the kinds of curriculums you've done for grades 11 and 12. So just grade 11 and 12, if you did Canadian curriculum only, amazing. You can click that. You can tell us which province. If you did any AP or IB or any kind of other curriculum, please select it as well. But more importantly, if you did any international curricula for grades 11 and 12, please select the other international curricula and then head down to the bottom and tell us which country that curriculum is from. Furthermore, it'll also be very important to list all of your schooling that you've done as well, just so we have that information in the application. So be really, really cautious as to how you're filling out the application and make sure that everything is correct. Now, in terms of the application itself, you're going to self-report your grades. So you're going to list all of your grade 11 and 12 courses you're taking, planning to take, or have already taken. So as you can see on this screenshot here, there will be a drop down for the course, and then you can tell us if it's been completed and then insert a mark. You could tell if it's in progress or if it's registered but not started yet. So this is going to be, again, very crucial for you to fill this out as accurately as you can so that we are not um, so that we're not limited and in the information that we have. So again, be very, very diligent in filling out as best you can and as accurately as possible. The next step of the application process is to check your status. So once you've submitted your application, you've paid your application fee, come back periodically just to check how things are going. So there will be a checklist of items for certain things. One is English language proficiency, which we'll talk about in just a second. But as you can see here, it is fulfilled using test scores or official transcripts. Another example would be our course and marks update. So if, for example, you have not been admitted yet and you have your semester one marks, amazing. In February to April, there will be a course and marks update form that you can fill out to self-report more grades you might have. Also listed here will probably be even like spoken language proficiency requirements, Casper tests, or anything that is required for admission to your program. So be very diligent in looking at what you might need and knowing when the deadlines for those things are. So for high school applicants, the deadline for all of these checklist items is August 1st. Now, I mentioned English language proficiency. This is going to be very crucial for our students, and there are many ways to meet it. So again, highly recommend keeping this link handy, uab.ca/language recs. It's going to show you a lot of different ways to meet ELP. I'm just going to show you a quick little a quick little, I guess you could say, table that I created of kind of like the most common ways. These are not all the ways. There's a ton of them. So please go look at our website if you want the full comprehensive list. But as you can see here, there's many ways to meet English language proficiency. So, for example, if you're an Alberta student, if you complete your ELA 30-1 and you score a 75% or higher in your blended diploma and course mark grade, boom, that's done. Amazing. If you're taking curricula like IB or AP, as you can see here, if you score a score of 5 or better, 6 or better, 4 or better, depending on which curricula, that's also done. Another way that you could do this as well is if you do years of study. So if you've done 3 or more years of full-time education in English, which excludes any ESL courses or any failed courses as well. So making sure that, again, you have 5 4-credit courses, 3 years, like 5 4-credit courses per year in 3 years, essentially. So making sure that you have that will automatically guarantee that. Now, I will say as well, if you are using any of these kind of course-based, we will use your final official transcripts at the end of the year. So that checklist item will stay until August. Do not panic if you are choosing one of these methods to complete it. That checklist item will just stay till August. Now, if you are using a different form, so say, for example, an IELTS, Duolingo, TOEFL, KL, PTE, a language test, you can see the bands are listed above. So if this is something that you want to do, and just ensure that you have the bands required. Again, usually it takes about 2 to 4 weeks for the testing centers to either send us the results or you can upload them to Launchpad or you can also submit them through our student service portal. So that's on uab.ca/ask. The one thing I also want to talk about too is that if you are applying to the Faculty of Education or nursing, you will also require spoken language proficiency as well. So please go check on our uab.ca/language recs website for information on how to fulfill that. There are some different requirements listed there, such as 6 years of study and a higher score for your IELTS, Duolingo, or TOEFL. So keeping that in mind if those are faculties that you're interested in applying to. We also at the U of A offer a bridging program. So that means essentially, let's say you're amazing academically, but you're just shy of those out scores. Well, we have actual 5 faculties that will admit you on the condition of completing an English course for a year and then transitioning to your program. So the 5 faculties that offer this are arts, agricultural, life and environmental sciences, Augustana, native studies, and kinesiology, sport and recreation. So if you are planning to apply to business, engineering, sciences, anything like that, you will need to meet the language requirement. There is no bridging option for those, but these are some great priority 2 programs in the event that you are worried that you may not meet them. But again, really great opportunity to join our U of A community through our bridging program. And lastly, hopefully you're going to get an amazing email that says, congratulations, welcome to the University of Alberta. And it's going to be an amazing day. And something that we do differently for our students, our international students in particular, is that we will tell you your tuition amount in your offer letter, and then we guarantee not to change it for the next 5 years. So we offer a tuition guarantee where, again, we will not change your tuition. You will get the tuition amount in your offer letter so you know exactly what to expect so you can plan ahead and know exactly how much your degree is costing. As I mentioned earlier, you can actually go look at how get an approximation of that amount using our cost calculator on uab.ca/costcalc. And again, that tuition guarantee is something very special that we do, again, to help with your mental health, but also to help you with your planning. The next thing, again, in terms of how to accept your offer, you can accept your offer by May 1st or the date that is specified in your offer letter. So normally May 1st is that deadline. Accept your offer, pay your non-refundable tuition deposit. This year for international students in Canada, that deposit is $1,000. So paying it before May 1st, guaranteeing your spot in your program, guaranteeing your spot at the University of Alberta. The other thing to keep note of is to make sure that you have all of your official documentation submitted before August 1st. So whether that's foreign transcripts, official transcripts, whether that's ELP, all of it's due August 1st. So making sure you get all that in time is going to be crucial. So if you want to see particularly that transcript piece, if you have an international, use that link listed right there, uab.ca/appdocs to see exactly how you can submit those transcripts. Next step is to receive your provincial attestation letter. We're actually already giving those out. So very excited in terms of provincial attestation letter. In the event you may need it, you may or may not need it depending on what is going on with the IRCC changes. But just in case, we are sending those out to our students so that you can begin your study permit application as soon as possible. We also do offer webinars, FAQs, free study permit advising as well using our uab.ca/ISS. And as I mentioned, once you've applied to the university and have your campus computing ID, you can book free advising with our study permit specialists for free. So that's something very exciting. So keep that in mind if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about that. But do highly recommend applying for your study permit early. We will have some sessions hopefully later in the year. So stay tuned in your email and make sure you apply for all of our newsletters and things so that you can have word as to when those study permit sessions are happening so you're ahead of the game. And now scholarships. This is my favorite section. So something very exciting this year. We actually have over $52 million worth of scholarships to give out. And even more exciting is that international students in Canada are their own pocket of scholarships. So you're not against domestic students, you're not against offshore students. You guys are your own pool of scholarships, and very excited this year that we're offering over $52 million worth of scholarships. So please, please, please apply and hopefully win some amazing awards. We do have two different types of scholarships as well. So the first one is our admission-based scholarships. You're automatically evaluated based on what you've submitted in your application. You don't have to do anything extra for these. You'll be evaluated based on your grades, based on your merit, based on your status, and other things as well. So these ones you don't have to do anything for. We will automatically evaluate you for them. The second type of scholarship, though, is our application-based scholarship. And for these, you do need to submit one application. Just one application, 3 questions, 250 words each, will get you in the running for all of our scholarship offerings. So again, that deadline is January 10th, and I highly, highly, highly encourage you all to apply, spend some time on that application. So again, as I mentioned, once you have your campus computing ID, you can go onto our awards portal and start that application. It's just 3 questions. This is where you're going to tell us about yourself. This is where you're going to tell us about your leadership, your engagement, your volunteer work. This is where you're going to tell us about anything special that you think will be needed for that scholarship application. We do not accept letters of reference, so this is just the 3 paragraphs that we're going to be evaluating you for, and I encourage you to apply because we have some amazing awards that we give out. One of which is our President's International Distinction Scholarship, which is one of our most sought after and one of the most like kind of amazing awards that we give out. And I would love to give all of you this. So please apply. As mentioned, that deadline is January 10th. Please do not submit it on January 9th. Please spend some time on it and then submit your application for these scholarships. After today as well, we do have a lot of events that are normally online. I'm sure some of you found this event through our website. So we do have occasionally some submitting your application webinars, our Scholarships 101, and a lot of different other webinars as well. So this session that we're doing today, we're going to be doing again January 24th and February 24th. So if any of your friends missed out on today, please let them know. And again, we also have a lot of different events that will be up probably closer to the new year after the Christmas break, where we can again help you with some other information that you might be interested in learning. If you're ever on campus, please come visit and take a tour. You can also do virtual tours as well. So again, if you want to see all three of our campuses, go online and take a look because it's a very fun campus, or even come on campus. That would be amazing. Lastly, we also do have ways for you to get in contact with our students, with our advisors, and with myself. So if you're ever wanting to ask any of our students any questions, you can use our peer chat. This is uab.ca/peer chat. Feel free to ask them any questions that you have in mind. You can also book advising sessions, both faculty specific and general, if you have any questions for our faculty advisors or for our general advisors as well. So feel free to book some sessions there. And finally, we can also book, as I mentioned before, study permit advisors with your CCID. But more importantly, after today, if you have any questions about anything pertaining to what we talked about today, you are also more than welcome to email me. This is my email on the webpage right now. uab.ca/mapleleaf is our website. mapleleaf@ualberta.ca is my email, and I would be happy to assist. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to also submit a general ticket to our student services on uab.ca/ask. Now, I know that we talked a lot today, and I hope that you know that there's so much more to explore at the U of A, and there's so much more that we offer. But as international students, I know that this is a very, very anxious time in your lives, especially with everything changing so quickly and so drastically. But the one thing I want to leave you with is that there is a place for you, and that place is here at the U of A. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me this evening. If you don't have any questions, you're free to go, but I will stick around for some questions. Feel free to also, again, use our use this QR code to register for some prizes and things as well. So without further ado, I will go into the Q&A box and see if there are any questions. Perfect. Awesome. So the question here is, I was wondering if there was more info on the tuition discount for students attending Campus St. John and the half-half studying as well. Yes, so great question here, first and foremost. So for the bilingual programming, there is no discount on the tuition. It is only if you're doing a fully French program at Campus St. John. So a fully French, like your four-year degree at Campus St. John, that would be eligible for a discount on your tuition this year. So that is something that we're offering to, again, give just give something to the francophone community, but also to give students the opportunity to do a fully francophone program because it's a really great experience and it really opens up a lot of doors in terms of jobs. Having that French background and that French knowledge is really beneficial. Any other questions? Great question. Any other questions? I will stick around for a little bit longer if you guys have any questions as well. Is there any info on whether nursing students need a specific English test? Amazing question. So nursing requires a Casper test and also a spoken language proficiency. So for spoken language proficiency, you will require a minimum for your spoken exam. So for example, if it's a TOEFL, you will need a minimum score of 26 in the speaking section. For IELTS, you will need a minimum score of a 7.5 in the speaking section. And then for Duolingo, an overall 140 with no subscore less than 120 for the spoken section. So you will still need to meet um, you won't still need to meet your English language proficiency, but have that spoken section higher, if that makes sense. So again, we really want that spoken language piece to make sure that you are meeting the requirements for your program. Awesome. Next question. Does the campus offer sports programs like ice hockey or other sports? Yes, we have tons of varsity sports. If you are interested in varsity, though, I do recommend you reaching out to the coaches. So, for example, like reach out because every coach has different like like tryouts, but also different scholarships and different kind of like ways that they do things. So if you are interested in varsity, look into our varsity teams. If you're just interested in terms of like intramural sports, we have tons of clubs. We also have opportunities for you to kind of do like recreational kind of stuff. Like there's like Zumba class and spin class and things like that. We do have ice hockey, we do have volleyball, we have tons of different sports that we do offer. And we also have two teams. So we have the Golden Bears, which are our male teams, and then our Pandas, which are our female teams. So really a very big opportunity to do sports here on campus. And we actually do have a an entire like our South Campus is actually very sport oriented. So it's actually like an entire like sports facility. And we also have like climbing walls here on North Campus as well. So again, research, go onto our website and take a look because again, yes, we do. All right, next question. Hi, Natalie. I was wondering if you could explain the difference between all the psychology programs. I'm planning to applying for psychology as science. I love this question. This is fantastic. So the first thing I will recommend is you go to uab.ca/programs and type out both. It does have a beautiful little blurb as to like what each entail. My minor was actually in art psychology, so I can speak more to the arts kind of side. But if you are wanting to speak more to about the like science kind of side, I do recommend reaching out to our science recruiter. So it's just science.recruiting@ualberta.ca. She can give you a whole lowdown, but otherwise, go on to uab.ca/programs. You can search both the psychology and sciences and the psychology and arts. The main kind of differences is like one is more science-based in terms of like brain functions, dendrites, like scientific, here's like a manual of all what's going on like internally. And the art psychology is more along the lines of like social. So like abnormal psychology, like using the DSM to diagnose things. The best part of all of our psychology programs is that you actually get to be a research participant for a lot of things. That's part of your work integrated learning. And psychology was my minor, and I loved it. The professors are amazing. Highly recommend. Also, just the courses are fantastic. I did a lot of social psychology and abnormal psychology, and you learn a lot about people and about like kind of just brains and functions and things like that. So yeah, depending on what you want to kind of go into, go onto our uab.ca/programs. There's a blurb on each of those there, or reach out to science.recruiting@ualberta.ca. Or even just book a general advising session with one of our science recruiters. So again, at uab.ca/advising. Next question. I have seen last year the fee for international students was cheaper compared to this year. Would the pricing for tuition also be varying depending on year? Um, Great question. So there is a tuition guarantee. There has been an increase in certain fee structures this year for certain programs, but at the same time, you would still be guaranteed for the duration of your program. So, for example, if like halfway through your program the tuition went up again, that would not affect you because you are guaranteed your tuition for the 4 years or 5 years that your program does take. So in terms of like whether the fees from last year were cheaper than this year, it really depends on the program. It really does depend on the program, and in terms of like when you kind of started the program. So I don't know if that answered your question, but essentially, you would still be guaranteed your rate for the duration of your program. Any other questions? These are all great questions, you guys. Love them. Keep them coming. This is great. I'll give you a few more seconds. Otherwise, I will begin to sign off. But again, if you do have any questions after today, feel free to email me at mapleleaf@ualberta.ca. There's a ton of, again, really great resources that I linked in our chat. So if you do have access to our chat, go on there. I did put our handbook in there as well. So if you wanted a nice little digital copy of our handbook that has a lot of really cool tips and tricks, but also everything we talked about today in a very nice condensed form that is linked there. So feel free to download it. And then we also have, again, all of those links that we kind of spoke about today. All right, no more questions. Oh, one more question. There we go. If I'm studying in Canada in the 12th grade, will the grades and diploma results be automatically transferred to the university once completed? Amazing question. If you are in Alberta, yes. If you are outside of Alberta, no. So that is going to be, again, with that checklist item, it's going to be super imperative for you to go onto our uab.ca/app docs page to see exactly how you will need to send those transcripts to us. So For Alberta students, because you are with Apply Alberta, we will get those automatically. If you are not in Alberta, you are responsible for sending those to us. I will also say too that you can upload a copy in your Launchpad for the most part, but final official transcripts will be required from your school or ministry. So just keep that in mind as well, that you have to probably give authorization to to your school to send us these things. So making sure that you do have what's it called? That you have authorized the university to get those transcripts and making sure that your school send those to us. All right, next question. Sorry to clarify, the pricing for international students who are currently studying in Canada was priced the same as Canadian. Oh, perfect. All right. So this person is asking about domestic versus international tuition. Fantastic. Hold on. So, the pricing for international student is a different model than domestic tuition. So, domestic students will get like kind of a program-based, essentially fee where that could change year to year. International students are assessed on a different tuition model. So, you are based on kind of a very different system based on your status in Canada. So if you require a study permit to study in Canada, you're automatically considered an international student, which then you will pay international fees. So the pricing will depend on year to year. That's mostly for domestic students. The pricing will change year to year. For international students, you get your tuition guarantee, which means that your price is fixed for the duration of your program. That's why they're two different models. So domestic students, program-based model, international students, tuition-based model. So very different, unfortunately. I also want to quickly note that if you are a Ukrainian student who has arrived under a CUAET visa, a QIT visa, we are honoring domestic tuition for those students this year. You will have to submit your proof of QIT work status to our student services in order for that fee to apply. Any other questions? Yeah, I'll give you guys like 5 more seconds for any other lingering questions. Otherwise, well, perfect. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming tonight. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you found it uh, beneficial. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But once again, I really hope that we see you here at the University of Alberta. Don't forget to apply for scholarships as well. And we hope to see you here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy holidays and take care, everyone.